Hello and welcome to Texas. My name is Justin. I'm the owner of Team 53, and I partner with Coach Dave Academy and Impel Motorsports to bring you this week's Learn to Drive video for C-Fix trucks at Texas as part of iRacing's 2025 Season 2 Week 7 official series. If you guys can, whether you're a new viewer or someone who watches us all the time, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, please do so. It does a ton to help me out. I raced late models here in Wisconsin last summer. This summer, I think I'm taking the year off, at least the start of the summer off, to help my daughter. She's 12, wants to race go-karts, so we're going to take a little bit of the summer off to help her kind of transition into that and really be able to focus on that a little bit. So anything you guys can do definitely helps us out. We just want to have some fun here on iRacing. And speaking of fun, no cooler place than Impel Motorsports. They're a huge supporter of mine. I got their hat on. Head over there. They've got some great Moza products. Some of them are out of stock. They should be restocked soon here with the new V2s and V3s that Moza's got coming out, as well as some next level sim rigs and some other stuff as well. If you are a real racer and you need anything from a racing suit to a brand new body, they are a dealer of anything from US Legends, INX Bandoleros, all the way up to super late models. So definitely check them out. They've also got some FA Alonso go-karts. If you guys are looking to get into circuit karting, they can help you out there with a start. So let's just kind of dive in here to Texas in the C-Fixed. This um, is not my favorite version of Texas. The old Texas is a million times better, but this track has gotten better on iRacing than when it first came out. When it first came out, absolutely terrible. Nobody really liked it. Now you just got to get through 1 and 2. So let's go out for qualifying here. Typically when we go out for qualifying, we would tire heat. I found this week that keeping the tires as cool as possible kept the car a little bit faster, so I did not even tire heat. And again, as we go out on track here, if you guys are interested, we have our Team 53 setup pack up here. It holds all of the short track setups, but then I also offer ARCA and CFix telemetry, all of my data within that. So for these build times or these videos, you can see that and you can really compare yourself. I go high here in 3 and 4, coming to green just to get some momentum built up. This lap really doesn't mean a whole lot other than building momentum. So all I do is I just kind of build it. I go low here in 1 and 2 just to keep that speed up, test the grip levels out. And then I'm going to go high here in 3 and 4 and get a nice run going down the front stretch. So we'll fast forward here a little bit. Here we are in 3 and 4. And now we bring it down off the track, nice and low here on the apron. We keep the car about halfway here on this front stretch. Or the truck, I should say. Gotta think about truck. So we keep it about halfway. So you can kind of see here we've got visual. Our goal is going to be to drive this truck, get loop back down as close as we can to this grass, and then we're going to keep it about halfway in the next lane here as we come across. So you see right there, we're nice and low here, coming through there. And then we're going to keep it about here in this middle lane. So about the same width that we got going past the start finish line. That's where we're going to sit the truck for entry to turn 1. So you can see it here. We'll go into the cockpit. You can see kind of where we're at. There's this light little darker gray line here that we just kind of straddle and we bring it into 1. I lift a little late kind of as I'm going past the Texas on the outside wall. I can see it with my triple screens. It's kind of hard to see here with the single screens, but when you're inside the car, it's when you feel like you're going past this, but when you're outside the car, it's as you're leading up to it or going through it is where you're going to lift, pitch that car into the corner. You can see we never completely get out of the throttle. Back full throttle, hard drive up off the corner here, full throttling it. Just letting the truck carry right out to the wall. I park my right side tires on this seam here, going down the back stretch, which we can see here sitting in the truck. We're right there. Down the back stretch we go, and then as we start to approach this corner, we're going to pitch it into turn 3. Nice little far chase, about 1, 2, 3, 4 dashes, 5 dashes before the corner. That's where we'll pitch it in. And we never lift here in 3 and 4. This is a flat out corner. So you just got to angle this truck where you need it. Keep it as close to that white line as possible. Let it drift up a little bit on exit. Catch almost the grass there, and you get a nice little 460 lap time. I have no doubt that as the week goes on, you guys are going to find some faster times. You'll see some faster times too in the practice rooms where people have a draft lap, but we're not too concerned with that. So let's give you guys a lap inside the truck. Here you go. So there's a good Q lap. Before we switch over to race trim, I want to go into garage and I just kind of want to show you guys what we've done. So we went to a 10-to-1 steering ratio, +4 offset, which I think was standard, and then I reduced the brake bias down to 60%. You're not really using any brake here, but I just felt like I wanted to have a little bit more freedom if I did need to drag the brake into the corner to help with right front wear that we could. And speaking of which, this is after about a 10 lap run on right side tires. So you can see that it definitely trends tight. And how we know that it trends a little, well, it's trending a little loose, but it was probably going to kick back tight here. And how we kind of know this is we look at our right side tire wear. And in general, if your right front tire has more wear than your right rear tire, it's trending loose. If your right rear tire has more wear or less wear on it than your right front tire, it would trend tight. So this is slightly loose, but I think if I had run more laps, it was definitely going to trend more tight. It felt like it was coming back, and you can see from tire temps 267 on that right front to 260 on the right rear that it generally was probably going to trend a little bit more tight for us. So other than that, there's not too much going on there. Race trim wise, you know, we we talk about this a lot, is that you're going to have to tire save. And while I can run a 5 fast lap, I'm not really sure that in a race I would ever want to run a 5. And I achieve this by running on the bottom the first few laps. And then what happens is there's a shift, right? You run the bottom, and you kind of, when your tires are fresh and they're good, and you can make up ground on the bottom. But then once the tires start to wear in a little bit, then it's important to move up the track in 1 and 2. We still want to be down on the bottom in 3 and 4. So where my line kind of goes from being bottom bottom, so bottom 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4, to being top bottom. Top in 1 and 2, bottom in 3 and 4. And what I was doing too here was I was lifting out of the throttle on entry, and then there's this little patch right here where I was kind of using this patch in this corner as my marker to get back on throttle. So it's no secret I don't drive these trucks a ton. So when I'm in them, I really need some type of barrier to know where I'm at. And this was kind of my barrier here. Was I used that as my marker. So as I felt like my truck was going over it, that's where I would throttle up every single time through in 1 and 2. And even once I move to the outside line here, we'll kind of fast forward a couple laps here until we get to an outside line. This will be an inside line. But once we get to an outside line, you'll see that I still kind of use that line as my marker. And how did I know when it was time to move to the outside? Well, I started to see a sharp drop off in my lap times. And then I said, okay, outside lane is the time to go. I was like 4 or 5 laps into the run. Yep, here we go. Now we're on the outside lane. So we're on lap 42, and we started this on 38. So, and you can see here, we moved to the outside lane, an immediate drop off in lap time from a 661 to a 904. But what I found was that I was going to save tire a lot more, and that was really going to help us. So we still used, like I said, the same markers here as we settle into a run for where I'm getting back on throttle. You can watch it here. Watch as we come up here to these bumps. We come up to those bumps full throttle, and then we just get a nice hard drive off. So I think it's going to be really, really important that you guys are able to run both lines. The other big thing too is these trucks are super aero dependent, and 1 and 2 in particular, it's really easy to take somebody's aero away. Excuse me. So if you take their aero away, you really want to make sure that you as the trailing car, if that lead car is kind of mirror driving you, that you have different places that you can go on track to get the air on the left front. In iRacing and in real life, the left front is really the key to aero. And if you can keep your left front clear, that's what's going to allow you to make moves throughout the race and close in on people and make those passes. So it's really working to keep that left front clear of air to keep downforce on the truck. In terms of passing, obviously 1 and 2 is really going to be your easiest place to pass, and that's just going to be momentum, right? If you can keep more momentum up here out of 1 and 2 going down the backstretch, you're going to be able to make a ton of passes. If your car gets or your truck gets really bogged down, and you have to build that momentum back up on the backstretch, that's where you're going to lose time. I would say too, in this practice run, I probably went to the top a little early. I think you could probably run the bottom a little bit longer than when I moved to the top, but I just really felt like I wanted to tire save and that moving to the top was going to slow me down a little bit more and give me a little bit better drive off so that I could save my tire a little bit better. So that's why I moved to the top. But you guys in race trim, it's going to be a little bit different, obviously, with having some draft. Like you're going to want to stay in the draft as much as possible, but clean air in 1 and 2 and keeping momentum built up is really the key to Texas. If you can do that, you'll have a successful week. So don't forget to join Team 53 Discord. Link is in the description. Stop and give us a share if you've watched this far. Give us a like. Share this video with friends. Let them know, if they need help, that we are here for them. And best of luck, and we will see you guys in the next video.